25th of December 2024. This is a brand new edition of Newsfirst Primetime News coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. For the Newsfirst team, I am Jayama Ratnayaka. A very Merry Christmas to you, Rochelle.
Thank you very much, and a Merry Christmas to all our viewers as well. And as always, let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Newsfirst Headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Christians across the globe celebrate Christmas. Pope Francis appeals for courage to better the world. Cardinal urges the people to respect everyone and honor each other's opinions. 389 inmates granted Christmas pardon. Shooting in Kurunegala, 1 dead. Conflicts among drug traffickers contribute to rising shootings across Sri Lanka, says IGP. Azerbaijani plane with 67 passengers on board crashes in Kazakhstan.
Newsfirst Headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Christmas has dawned, bringing with it a spirit of joy, peace and goodwill that resonates across the globe. As the world celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ, communities from all corners come together to embrace the warmth of this sacred occasion.
Christians around the world, including millions in Sri Lanka, celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ each year with great devotion. The main Christmas Mass this year is being held at the Vatican St. Peter's Basilica, led by His Holiness Pope Francis.
One of the most significant religious observances took place at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City, where a special service highlighted the core values of Christmas: love, peace and togetherness.
Patris et Filii Spiritus Sancti.
Pope Francis opened the holy door of St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican on Christmas Eve to kick off Jubilee 2025. The door, which is usually bricked up, will remain open for the year to welcome an expected 30 million pilgrims. During the Christmas Mass at St. Peter's Basilica, Pope Francis delivered a poignant message calling for unity and hope across the globe. He urged people from all nations, cultures and backgrounds to stand together, working to uplift the dreams and aspirations of all, regardless of where they live.
Ai bambini metragliati.
We yearn for a new world. As we reflect on the state of the world, it pains us to witness children dying in the aftermath of war. Bomb attacks on hospitals and schools. Our hearts stand ready to face these challenges. Above all, we are committed to bringing hope to every corner of the world.
The main Christmas Mass in Sri Lanka took place at midnight, led by Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit. The service was held at the Our Lady of Sorrows Church in Jaila.
As Christians, we are called to offer refuge to those who have suffered because of inequality and selfishness in society. We must especially show compassion and respect to the poor, the vulnerable, and those marginalized or excluded from the community. It is our duty to honor those whom others may overlook or reject. Let us practice the habit of considering the needs of every person, remembering that no one exists in isolation. Our lives are deeply interconnected, and we are sustained by the lives of others. We were never meant to navigate this world alone. In Sri Lanka, it is crucial that we show respect to everyone, regardless of their status. Every individual's thoughts and existence deserves our consideration and responsibility. Therefore, let us reach out to those in need, particularly those caught in the struggles of society, and offer a helping hand.
Bishop of the Diocese of Kurunegala, Right Reverend Harold Anthony, emphasized the importance of abandoning self-interest and embracing a life of selflessness. He expressed these views during the Christmas Mass held at the St. Anne's Cathedral in Kurunegala last night, which was broadcast live on Sirasa TV.
To bring the message of peace and love into reality, we must first transform ourselves. If we step out of the shadows of our present struggles and move towards the light of renewal, we can create meaningful change in our lives. Through this transformative approach, we can contribute to building the kingdom of God as devout Christians. We can build a better nation as responsible citizens. If we do so, we can make our Christmas a true embodiment of its deeper meaning.
The Christmas Mass was also held at the Cathedral Church of Christ the King in Kurunegala last night, led by Bishop of the Diocese of Kurunegala, Right Reverend Nishanta Fernando. The Mass is scheduled to be broadcast on Sirasa TV at 10:30 p.m. tonight.
Christmas is not solely a personal celebration. It is a shared occasion for all humanity and all of creation. Therefore, as we celebrate Christmas, let us pray to the Lord for the grace to embrace its true spirit. May God bless us all to celebrate Christmas in this manner.
To celebrate Christmas, religious services were held at various churches across Sri Lanka. Bishop Dushantha Rodrigo and Reverend Father Lakshman Daniel led the Christmas service at the Cathedral of Christ the Living Saviour. Reverend Father Jude Samantha Fernando conducted the service at the St. Anthony Shrine in Kochikade. The main service for the estate community was held at the Holy Cross Church in Hatton, led by Reverend Father Edwin Rodrigo. The St. Mary's Cathedral in Badula hosted a special service led by Reverend Father Jude Nishanta. In Anuradhapura, the main service took place at the St. Joseph's Cathedral with Reverend Father Norbert Marshall Andrade leading the service. Father Anton Trian conducted the Christmas service at the St. Mary's Church in Kegol. A service was held at the Shrine of Our Lady of Matara. Right Reverend Valence Mendes led the Christmas service at the St. Anthony's Cathedral in Kandy. A service was held at the Queen of the Holy Rosary Cathedral in Gaul. Father Ushanta Pereira conducted the service at the Christ Church in Babegama. Santa also visited Nyagama in Hikkaduwa last night. President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake in his Christmas message highlighted that Jesus Christ, who came into the world to bring salvation to all, saw no divisions among people, be they rich or poor. His birth among humble shepherds and the divine message delivered to them by angels underscores the profound truth that Christmas calls us to transcend divisions and act with unity, peace and humanity. He added that today as a nation, we stand at a pivotal moment, united in our shared commitment to the future. We are witnessing the dawn of the new era for our country, one illuminated by the message of love and unity brought by Jesus Christ. President Dissanayake emphasized that today Sri Lanka stands at a crossroads requiring a transformative social revival. This is a call for collective national renewal, a shift towards a just, compassionate and equitable society. The President also invited all Sri Lankans to pledge to build a strong, stable economy, ensure social justice and uphold a political culture rooted in democracy and integrity. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya in her Christmas message emphasized the importance of spending quality time with family and friends, coming together, sharing meals and supporting one another in this time of transition and rebuilding for the nation as it strengthens not only our bonds but also our resilience. She affirmed that such moments would remind us that building a healthy community and a strong nation begins at home. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya added that Christmas reminds us to reflect, forgive and reconcile, values that inspire us to seek harmony within our families, communities and the wider world. She further highlighted that while everyone revel in the festivities, safety must also be prioritized and, as care for ourselves, it is also important to care for others by staying vigilant and making responsible choices. 389 inmates received presidential pardon today in line with Christmas. According to prison spokesperson Gamini B. Dissanayake, 389 inmates were granted presidential pardon. The prison spokesperson added that among those released, 48 inmates are from the Mahara prison, 45 inmates from the Variapola prison, and 41 inmates are from the Velikada prison.
Day 2 of the Newsfirst Splash Shopping Festival 2024 was held at the Kandy City Centre today. The Splash Shopping Festival will remain open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
The Newsfirst Splash Shopping Festival is bringing Christmas cheer to the hill country with its exciting fair and carnival. The event features a wide range of stalls and activities offering products at special discounts. Numerous activities to celebrate Christmas were organized. One of the highlights for kids was the chance to enjoy a fun-filled experience with Upul Mama, who delighted them in the role of Santa Claus. Aslam Roshan, who won the Voice Kids title, Thikshan Anuradha, Pranavi and Akshaya performed alongside several popular singers to the vibrant music of Enjoy, led by Nalinda Ranasinghe this evening. The event drew a large crowd, adding to the festive atmosphere.
News First with the people.
One person has died in a shooting that took place in Vallava in Kurunegala.
The shooting took place last night, targeting a couple who lived in a housing complex in Vallava in Kurunegala. The couple was having tea near their car, which was parked on the road around 10 p.m. yesterday when the incident took place. It is suspected that the shooting was carried out from a nearby property. The husband, a 32-year-old businessman, died after being admitted to the hospital. The 30-year-old wife, who was also injured in the shooting, has been hospitalized for treatments. The police suspect that the shooting was carried out using a T-56 assault rifle. The total number of shooting incidents so far this year has exceeded 100. Police said that conflicts among drug traffickers have been a contributing factor to the shootings reported across Sri Lanka in recent times. Acting Inspector General of Police Attorney Priyanthi Veerasurya said that investigations are ongoing to uncover further details surrounding these investigations. In response to the rising violence, an organised crime control committee has been established under the direction of the acting IGP. The committee will be chaired by the senior DIGs in charge of the Western and Southern provinces. In total, the committee consists of 20 police officers.
3 people have gone missing after drowning in the Sangamankanda Sea in Tirukkovil.
According to the police, two 12-year-old boys who went swimming in the Sangamankanda Sea in Tirukkovil and a person attempting to rescue them also went missing. Search operations are currently underway with the assistance of the Navy and local residents.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Feel the love. One rhythm at a time. Tune in to Love Rhythms, Wednesdays 7 p.m. onwards.
Legends 966, Colombo's greatest hits.
To the news. The Sri Lanka State Trading Corporation announced that the first consignment of rice ordered by the government will arrive in Sri Lanka today.
Chairman of the Sri Lanka State Trading Corporation, Ravindra Fernandes, said a shipment of 780 metric tons of rice is expected to reach Sri Lanka tonight, with distribution scheduled to begin tomorrow. In addition, 67,000 metric tons of imported rice is being distributed through the private sector's intervention. He added that the clearing of rice consignments currently piled up at the port of Colombo will commence today. The cabinet recently decided to extend the permission for rice imports until the 10th of January.
The Small and Medium-Scale Rice Mill Owners Association held a media briefing today, during which they raised concerns about the sale of imported rice in the market.
A kilogram of Swarna Nadu rice in the Indian market costs between 120 to 140 rupees. So, when the government imposes a 65 rupee tax on a kilogram of imported rice, the price goes up between 200 to 210 rupees. This is why private importers were reluctant to import rice.
Tissa Maharama Rice Mill Owners Association expressed these views about the rice crisis.
There is a shortage of red rice paddy. We do not feel a shortage of rice as much. Therefore, we request the President to temporarily remove price controls to decrease this rice shortage, as we believe that the rice shortage will slow down. I urge the President to immediately adjust the prices of imported rice and facilitate its distribution nationwide. I believe this rice shortage will end by January. We have a very large shortage of red rice paddy. Paddy in the Hammathura district is almost over. We have 2,000 kilograms of paddy in stock at our mills, which we will need to process by the 1st of January because we must assign duties to our workers. There is no paddy available at all. We will not be able to distribute even a kilo or two, leading to a severe shortage in this district by February.
Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that steps have been taken to solve the rice crisis at the Cabinet media briefing yesterday.
A portion of the rice available at mills is being sent to the market. The country is receiving the rice it requires. I accept that there has been a slight delay in the distribution process. We expect that it will be resolved in the future. An extraordinary gazette was issued outlining the revised Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Scheme.
The allowance provided to impoverished families has been increased from 8,500 rupees to 10,000 rupees. Additionally, the allowance for extremely impoverished families has been increased from 15,000 rupees to 17,500 rupees. Among the social segments to receive the welfare benefit payments, 480,000 transitional, vulnerable and extremely impoverished beneficiaries and families will receive monthly allowances ranging from 5,000 to 17,000 rupees respectively. A 10,000 rupees welfare benefit will be distributed to 960,000 impoverished families. The compensation period for transitional and vulnerable families has been extended until the 31st of March 2025.
US President-elect Donald Trump's call to acquire Greenland has prompted the Danish government to announce a huge boost in defense spending for the Arctic territory.
Why is Greenland important for the US? When did the US last buy territories, and what efforts has it made in the past to acquire Greenland? Here's an explainer.
US President-elect Donald Trump has once again expressed interest in buying Greenland, and now in reply to that, Greenland has again said that it is not for sale. Now the question here is, why is the huge Arctic island, or the Arctic island rather, important for the US? Now the answer to that is point number one in fact, is that Greenland is the biggest island on Earth, located far north between the Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Now, as you see in the map, like I previously told, it is located between the Arctic Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Now, though it is closer to North America, it is politically part of Denmark. It is located in the North Atlantic Ocean, but it is located between Europe and North America, across the Baffin Bay from Canada. Its strategic importance rose during the Cold War, and the US has a large air base there, the Bidufik Space Base, also earlier the Thule Air Base. Now, from Greenland, the US can monitor and prevent any missile coming towards it from Russia, China, or even North Korea. Now, similarly, it can launch missiles and ships towards Asia and Europe more easily from Greenland. Now, second, Greenland is rich in rare earth minerals which are used in mobile phones, electric vehicles, and also other consumer electronics, but also in bombs and weapons. Now, third, as global warming leads to melting of ice, new waterways can open in the Arctic region, and all major powers are keen to boost their presence here. Now, just like you see behind me in this presentation, rather, or the visuals you see behind me, it is full of ice, and mostly when you go through the visuals of Greenland, you get to see ice. Now, this is what is predicted to be melting and which can open waterways in the future, and this is why many powerhouses around the world are keen to make sure that their presence is felt here. When did the US last buy territories, and what efforts has it made in the past to acquire Greenland? Trump in his last term had proposed buying Greenland, terming his proposal a large real estate deal.
Essentially, it's a large real estate deal. A lot of things could be done.
Another question that also comes along with this is, when has the US bought territories before this? One famous example is the purchase of Alaska, which the Russian Empire transferred to the US in 1867 when Andrew Johnson was president for $7.2 million. Now, earlier in 1803, the US bought more than 2 million square kilometers, quite a large number of land, from France in what is known as the Louisiana Purchase. Going into detail of the Louisiana Purchase, now this acquisition of Louisiana happened when Thomas Jefferson was president, and the US paid $15 million for the deal. Now, in 1917, the US bought the Danish West Indies, now a group of islands in the Caribbean, that is, and called them the US Virgin Islands. So it has been a part of their history. Fast forward to today, Donald Trump's plan to buy Greenland would be the US's largest territorial addition in history, topping even the 1803 Louisiana Purchase, which nearly doubled America's size at the time. Imagine if that doubled America's size at the time, what would this purchase do? Now here's a brief idea on what happened over the weekend. Now going back to the weekend, like I said, now Trump said in a social media post that the US feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity for reasons of national security and global freedom. Now, Greenland's Prime Minister responded to Trump's latest comments this week, saying that, quote unquote, we are not for sale and we will not be for sale. Still, Trump continued emphasizing his public statements online. Now, like I said, Trump had already floated the idea of purchasing Greenland in 2019 during his first term as president, and it never worked out. And now, the Danish government has announced a huge boost in defense spending for Greenland, just hours after US President-elect Donald Trump repeated his desire to purchase the Arctic territory. Now, the Danish Defense Minister Troels Lund said the package was a double-digit billion amount. Just imagine those numbers in krone, or at least $1.5 billion. Well, for Greenland to be hypothetically admitted as a territory through purchase or diplomatic arrangement, it too would face a congressional battle over statehood. Now, unlike a treaty vote, it would require simple majorities in both chambers to pass, while the island's voters would then have the final say.
A passenger plane operated by Azerbaijan Airlines crashed near the city of Aktau in Kazakhstan. The plane was flying from Baku to Grozny in Russia's Chechnya, which was rerouted due to the fog in Grozny. Dozens of people have died after a passenger plane crashed with 67 people on board in Kazakhstan.
An Embraer passenger plane flying from Azerbaijan to Russia crashed near the city of Aktau in Kazakhstan today with 62 passengers and 5 crew on board. Unverified video of the crash showed the plane, which was operated by Azerbaijan Airlines, bursting into flames as it hit the ground and thick black smoke then rising. Bloodied and bruised passengers could be seen stumbling from a piece of the fuselage that had remained intact. The Central Asian country's emergencies ministry said in a statement that fire services had put out the blaze and that the survivors, including 3 children, were being treated at a nearby hospital. Azerbaijan Airlines said the Embraer 190 aircraft with flight number J2-8243 had been flying from Baku to Grozny, the capital of Russia's Chechnya, but had been forced to make an emergency landing approximately 3 kilometers from the Kazakh city of Aktau. Russian news agencies said the plane had been rerouted due to fog in Grozny. Rescue teams have been dispatched to the site and efforts to secure the crash zone are ongoing. Authorities have confirmed that a detailed investigation into the crash's cause is now underway.
Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has defied summons to appear for questioning over his short-lived declaration of martial law for the second time in a week.
Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol did not appear for questioning on suspicion of insurrection and abuse of power after being ordered to attend the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials in south of Seoul. Yoon previously failed to respond to a separate summons by prosecutors on the 15th December. Yoon, who served as the country's top-ranking prosecutor before entering politics, has been suspended from his duties since the 14th December when the National Assembly voted for his impeachment in a 204-85 vote. The Constitutional Court of Korea is currently deliberating whether to uphold the motion and remove Yoon from office, a step that must be approved by at least 6 of 9 justices. The court has scheduled its first public hearing on the matter for the 27th December and could take up to 6 months to deliver its ruling.
The International Monetary Fund has announced that it has reached an agreement with Egypt to unlock about $1.2 billion in funds to prop up the country's troubled finances.
The Washington, D.C.-based International Monetary Fund said it reached a staff-level agreement which is subject to approval by the Executive Board after Cairo outlined steps to improve macroeconomic stability. Egyptian authorities agreed to raise the tax-to-revenue ratio by 2% of gross domestic product over the next 2 years and accelerate the divestment of state-owned companies, among other steps. The chief who led IMF's discussions with the Egyptian authorities said a comprehensive reform package is needed to ensure that Egypt rebuilds fiscal buffers to reduce debt vulnerabilities and generate additional space to increase social spending, especially in health, education and social protection. The two sides also agreed on the need to speed up reforms to improve the business environment. Egypt in March struck a deal to receive an $8 billion loan from the IMF in tranches subject to undertaking economic reforms, expanding on a $3 billion 46-month deal struck in December 2022. As part of the terms of the loan, Cairo agreed to let its currency sharply depreciate and allow the exchange rate to be determined by market forces. Egypt has been grappling with double-digit inflation and foreign currency shortages amid economic challenges including a collapse in revenues from the Suez Canal, the war in Ukraine and the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.